tour guide here. My name is Brady.
Bueno, ya
I've worked
estamos
out
en este
here
lugar
as a
acá.
student intern for the last 2 years now.
Está hablando el locutor.
I'll give you guys a little tour around.
Está hablando de qué lugar vamos
Here,
a ir.
This is Sporting State Farm. This is a little UNL-owned research
Miren,
farm out here
mire
by
que
Plaza.
la increíble.
And we're just going to go through some of our more interesting spots. Right off to our left here, this is some ponderosa pines and hackberries. This is coming up here is eastern white pine. This was all planted by the Federal Forest Service a number of years ago, looking for trials, looking to see if these trees will do well here, taking seed from various places and seeing if it'll work well for research.
Vamos
It
aquí.
can be difficult. A tree from far down south, a tree from say Tennessee or Alabama or anything, that tree might be more used to wetter, warmer conditions, just like a tree from up in Montana or Canada might be used to drier and cooler conditions. So it's important to plant them and kind of just see what works. So that's what we've got going on here. You can tell it was all planted. You can see them in pretty clear rows here. This is all eastern white pine. Climbing up some of these trees is a bird cucumber. It's a vine
Yeah.
that's really successful. And sure loves
Y
to
está en alto.
take over and
Miren.
have its way. So you'll see a lot more of that as we're going. Off to our right here, you can see this is a hammer honeysuckle, sometimes called bush honeysuckle or Asian bush honeysuckle. This is one of our more difficult invasives actually to deal with around here. It's a little bush that comes from Eastern Asia, like inland areas, all along the river bordering Russia and China. It's very difficult to get rid of. It'll resprout from a stump. You can cut it off at the base and it'll be coming back up next year. So we have to treat it with herbicide. Produces lots of little berries every fall, bright red. They're just starting to come on now. Flowers very early in the spring. It's one of the first things to leaf out every year, and it's one of the first flowerings to happen. But the berries don't come out until later than now. Just getting started. They're very toxic though, so don't eat them. Yeah, it was originally brought in intentionally to this farm to serve as wildlife habitat, but quickly realized that it was very, very aggressive and invasive. And it's kind of coming in here, and you can see how it kind of chunks everything out that's under it. It's basically all just honeysuckle all around here. We do a lot of work out here to get rid of it, try to get rid of all of it, cut it down, and so far so good. We've seen a lot of our native plants come back, a lot of our native understory plants will return. And some elderberry you can see along here. Every once in a while there's a few of those. Those are an interesting species, native to eastern United States. As we go down here, we're looking to see a little more walnuts and oaks as we're getting down away from these planted pines and spruces. We're going downhill here. So this farm was granted to UNL through a family that had owned it, used it, farmed it. They had an interest in trees and forestry though, so part of the conditions for giving it to UNL and letting us take over and manage it was that it stayed forested, and that was kind of the main focus. And so as long as that held true, we're glad to have it. It's a good place. A lot of research happens out here, a lot of like education and outreach happens. Trials, as you can see, have historically gone on, and we even have a partnership with Steve Parks to do youth mentor hunting out here, so if there's anything anyone's interested in. As we're getting through here, you can see this was some old trial plots that were out here. The trees we were planning to do various research on them. These all look like walnuts, so young walnuts. Walnuts are interesting trees, native to eastern Nebraska and the eastern U.S. pretty much as a whole. Very large trees, as you can see. Some of these biggest trees around here are walnuts. Obviously, walnuts are a nice nut. They're very good for producing those. They're very good for lumber, well desired for lumber. One of the most desirable wood types that grows around here. So you'll see walnuts a big deal if it's ever discussed. And walnuts are interesting because their roots will secrete a chemical compound that sort of slows the growth of other plants around. So some plants, I think tomatoes especially, simply do not grow underneath a walnut. It's some kind of underground chemical warfare by them. It's very interesting adaptation to prevent competition around the base. A number of other trees also does that, but walnuts one of the most famous examples. Something else walnuts are known for, if anyone is into horses, is walnut sawdust and shavings. Should not be used for horses. They will urinate on the walnut shavings and they will, I think it's called foundering. They'll get issues with their feet and then will kill them. So you have to be very careful with your bedding for your horses. Now we're coming up here. This is our edible windbreak. It's a little row of trees that's been planted. It was planted a while ago. You can see we're going by some walnuts here and smaller. I forget what these are. The idea of this place was to be a windbreak, so that prevent the winds from whipping through and kind of slow things down, but also to have all the plants in here produce something edible that could be harvested, used. That's really interesting to see. A lot of walnuts. Those are all the bigger here. And we tried earlier this year to plant some serviceberry and pea. Those we'll see, small little bare root sapling or seedling. Just basically looks like a little stick with some roots on it. We'll see if those take and how well those do. A lot of black cherry. We can see some small black cherries here. Very popular with people as well. They're usually a little sour, but birds sure like them. It's hard to get your hands on any before the birds take them off. They'll spread everywhere. They're a bit of a weedy little tree, but they're still very interesting, very useful. Good for wildlife. A lot of things are. As you can see here, off to our side here, this is another ponderosa pine plantation. This is all planted intentionally, looking also, I think, at hardiness for these trees. You can see it's kind of fallen lower on our priorities list for managing it there. You can see it's got a lot of honeysuckle problems along with much of our other areas. And there's a tree of heaven in there, which is definitely our worst, hardest to get rid of invasive. But honeysuckle definitely has a beat in numbers around here. This all is grass all grown for hay. We have a local farmer comes in and shreds it up once or twice in the summer, bales it up. You can see some of the bales as we go around, and that's one of the ways we sort of try to maybe make a little money from the property, and also to kind of help the local community give them some more ground for hay, because we don't want it to just all be forested around here. We need a little bit of open area, and you can benefit. Everyone can benefit. Looks good. You can see some more little ponderosa pines. It's all these young pine trees here. Those are, I believe he said, bare root seedlings that they had left over, and they started to grow them. That's the same story for these in here. We've got some more coming up. Nice little collection. We've got some nice young oaks down there. Some little guys we've planted.
Bueno, vamos a hacer un recorrido aquí en esta máquina.
How's everyone doing so far? Good?
Pues ahorita nos van explicando sobre lo que contiene el bosque, medio de los pinos
Here's an
aquí,
assortment of trees.
y en
What's
medio
that?
de este
Growing tomato?
La verdad
Let's see,
que
you
está
can get
muy,
little
muy
tomato
lindo,
plants in pots
muy
that are already
hermoso.
sprouted. And,
Pues aquí
they're like a
fíjense
little
que se ve
trellis, you
como
gotta
que
have
tú
somewhere
hasta
for
sacaste
them to
para
hang
las
on
vacas,
to.
no sé.
You can just keep them
Sí.
in your yard and water them, don't grow up, and
Pues
grow tomatoes.
la verdad es muy bonito.
Quite a bit.
Ya que venimos,
I don't know
y
about
está
growing
muy
from a
hermoso,
tomato there, but I'm sure
en
it's
medio de
possible.
aquí de la montaña.
What's
Sí,
up?
está muy lindo, la verdad. Y dice que,
No bears
bueno,
that I'm
no
aware of.
sabía, pues
Not a whole lot
la
of, not a
verdad
whole
que
lot of
sí,
space
fíjate.
for them. They like to roam around.
Teníamos,
There's a lot
fuimos
of.
donde fuimos,
It's kind of a
pagamos
little
15 dólares por
forested
persona,
oasis, I guess.
más el
here
caso
in
pues
Nevada,
salió
around here,
47
but,
centavos por los
everything
tres,
else is all
pero
regular
aquí la
property.
verdad fue gratis,
So, not a whole lot
la
of room for
entrada,
bears.
y luego de eso pues no sabíamos, pues también están dando un tour en medio de, pues, de un ferry, enseñándoles lo que es el bosque. Está muy lindo, muy bonito. Y después de eso fue interesante porque hasta lo estaban dando comida, bueno, estaban regalando, como decimos en español, perro caliente. Muy
Foxes and
hermoso
groundhogs.
lo que está pasando.
Owls? I'm sure there are. I haven't seen any. They're pretty tricky. But
Muy bonito.
I'm sure there are around here.
Y aquí ya vamos de regreso, buscando la salida.
I've seen
Bien,
eagles
pues
around
ahí
here.
para el rojo. Bien, yo creo que
Fox, like a bird of prey, kind of like an eagle, a little smaller.
no sé qué se refiere allá.
What's up?
Parece que a una carretera, no sé, una calle, no vi bien. Pero sí está muy bonito el viaje.
That's all right. Up here on our side here is a stand of red oaks that were all planted. Red oaks are a nice tree native to southeastern Nebraska. They might get a little bit north. Very hardy tree. Planted them all in here. This, you can see this had a similar issues as the rest of the property, but it's been a hard-fought battle. But this is more of what we're looking for. Occasional shrubs, but a lot of smaller plants, smaller forbs, and grasses and sedges, things like that, and not quite so choked out by one single shrub not from around here. This is a bottom olive right here. This is a really similar looking to our honeysuckle, but a little bit different. Also considered invasive, but not nearly as big a problem. The real tricky thing about honeysuckle is that it is actually a great wildlife habitat. Wildlife love it. Our Game and Parks partners sort of like it. They know we don't like it, but they like it because the deer like it. And the birds love it. And so it's a little bit tricky sometimes, but generally held that it's best to get rid of. You can see here we're coming up on our arboretum area. There's a lot of unique and interesting oak species, especially around here, but there's quite a bit of other things. I think Justin Erickson is going to be doing a hike through here, a guided hike here later today. Maybe it's already starting, I don't know. But a lot of interesting, especially a lot of oaks. A lot from further south of here. Ones that are maybe a little better for dry and warm than what we're used to. A lot of interesting ones. You might not see any of these specific types of trees around the rest of the state very much, or at least not around here. Really good place to see some unique species. And you can see here we just kind of cut paths. We don't hay or mow this whole area very much. I like to keep it a little grassy, but just paths so we can get to the trees is checking out right there. This would be more of a savanna type. That those red oaks back there would be more of a woodland leading into a forest. Savanna would just be grasses and trees, but way more grasses than trees. I had an interesting sort of method to tell if it was a savanna or a woodland or anything. It's called the John Wayne test. It was that if John Wayne could take his horse through the area with the trees and not really have to do a whole lot of winding, you can call it savannah. And I think that's a good way to visualize. You can see there's, I think these are Kentucky coffee trees, some various other things. I'm not quite sure what that is. Yeah, nice variety of trees up here. We're back around here to our white pine and spruce and fir. So we're going to be coming up on the end of our tour. Does anyone have any questions? What's up? What's up? We're headed back to the start here. Oh, good. Back to the start. What's up? Well, if it rains, you'll be fine. He's got that. Yeah, he's got a hat on. What was that? Yeah, I'm a student. I just graduated in May. I'm doing a master's program now, though. They still let me work out here during the summer. I'm studying ecology down there. I'm doing a project actually on this farm, looking at alley cropping over in our pecan and hazelnut there. Alley cropping, yeah. It's like doing the countries and a crop in the middle. It's an interesting. We're kind of looking to see if it's feasible, benefits. Just kind of trying to look and see if it's anything worthwhile. It's the least used sort of agroforestry practice. That's what it's called, agroforestry. Just to kind of see if there's anything, any kind of benefit. These trees right. Yeah, there's been a lot of various research types of things going on out here. There's been a lot of research projects out here. For instance, that was a research project that was done, and there was some study going on in those credits down there, but I'm not exactly sure what they were doing. It ended a while ago. We had a bit of a fungal problem going through in there. Since it's all red oaks that were planted, and there wasn't like anything else. There was fungus that attacks oaks that was coming through, and so there was a bunch of dead ones that we ended up actually taking them out. Took them out. Kind of thin it up too because trees need light and everything, and so when there's a whole bunch packed together, they'll have more room to grow now, basically. Yeah. We're actually looking to do a small burn in there, hopefully in the fall. I don't know. That's interesting because I know they can't move.
Bueno.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good information.
Thank you.
I know they are able to help you.
Bueno, fíjense que ya llegamos aquí otra vez donde salimos. Miren, la máquina que los lleva a dar el tour. Les da por todo lo que es el bosque, bien bonito, andando en medio del bosque. Y la verdad pues es gratis, no sé. Miren esta planta, no sé qué clase de planta es. Y eso es lo que anduvimos viendo ahorita ya también, que en medio del bosque hay unas plantas como brutales, no sé. Pero bien que interesante, la verdad. Yo no sé si este día o que está abierto, no sé, porque mi hija me dijo ya de la semana pasada, el viernes vamos a ir a un lugar y esa era acá, pero vi que es gratis. Y después de eso que estaban regalando hot dog a toda la gente, porque no se ve latino, solo americano, para qué les voy a decir. Pero sí es bonito porque es gratis, digamos todo, la entrada es gratis, el hot dog gratis regalando, y la vuelta pues gratis, no pagamos nada absolutamente, y está muy interesante. Lo único que según es como esto se trata como de niños, porque hay muchas cosas interesantes de niños que le están enseñando muchas cosas, pero está muy bonito, muy lindo. Entonces esto es lo que yo decía, veníamos a ver, pero yo no sé, no sabía lo que se trataba, pero sí, está muy lindo, la verdad. Le dan ese tour por medio de del monte, la montaña, como le podemos llamar, y está muy bonito, muy chulo, muy bonito, digamos, mirando el paisaje. Ahí, como les digo, este es el tour que está ahorita, mira, la máquina, estos son los conductores y le dan por medio de la montaña. Así que miren qué lindo estos árboles. No sé si se trata de árboles frutales o la verdad no sé. Si alguien lo conoce, miren, esta es la fruta que está dando, no sé. Así que eso es todo. Tengan todos buenas tardes y ya pues ya es viernes. Yo creo que bueno, yo estoy descansando esta semana, pero ya son las 5:10. Así que todos tengan buenas noches, que Dios me lo proteja. Mira, aquí viene otra máquina. Ahorita la voy a grabar, son 2 máquinas que hay. Miren que le dan altura a la gente. Pues está lindo, son 2, como les digo, no les cuesta nada. Todo de gratis y le van explicando lo que se ve allí. Así que tengan todos buenas noches, que Dios me los proteja, me los cuida y bendiciones.